and welcome back to the channel.
With the holiday season just around the corner,
Have you ever wondered how Thanksgiving actually became the huge celebration we know and love today? It's not just about turkey and football. The story is packed with centuries of history, cultural fusion, and even a little bit of political drama. So, grab a warm drink, get comfortable, and let's journey back in time to uncover the true origins of Thanksgiving.
long before the Pilgrims ever set sail, people all across Europe were already celebrating the end of a successful harvest.
Think about it. Your entire community's survival depended on the food you grew. So, when the crops were finally in, it was a massive cause for celebration. In England, they had a festival called Harvest Home. It was a time for feasting, dancing, and giving thanks for a bountiful season.
These ancient traditions of gratitude and community feasts planted the seeds for what would later sprout on American soil.
The idea of stopping to appreciate a good harvest is a deeply human one, and it's the foundational layer of our modern Thanksgiving story. Now, let's talk about the event everyone pictures. The first Thanksgiving in 1621. The Pilgrims, who had sailed from England on the Mayflower, landed in Plymouth, Massachusetts in 1620. That first winter was absolutely brutal. They were unprepared for the harsh New England climate, and nearly half of them didn't survive. But when spring arrived, they received help from an unexpected source: the local Wampanoag people.
A man named Squanto, who had learned English after being captured and taken to Europe, was especially crucial. He taught the struggling colonists how to cultivate corn, catch fish in the rivers, and identify edible native plants. Without this knowledge, the Plymouth colony might have vanished completely.
So, after their first successful corn harvest in the fall of 1621, Governor William Bradford organized a celebratory feast to give thanks.
He invited the Wampanoag, and their leader showed up with about 90 of his men, nearly doubling the size of the party. This feast lasted for 3 whole days.
But what was on the menu? It probably looked very different from our modern tables. Historians believe they ate venison since. The Wampanoag brought 5 deer as well as wild birds like ducks and geese, maybe some turkey, seafood like lobster and clams, and vegetables they had grown, such as corn, beans, and squash. There was no pumpkin pie, no cranberry sauce, and definitely no mashed potatoes. It was a true harvest festival, a moment of shared relief and diplomacy between 2 very different cultures.
But that 1621 feast wasn't the start of an annual tradition.
In fact, the idea of a Thanksgiving in the colonies was usually a more solemn, religious affair. Throughout the 1600s and 1700s, individual colonies would declare a day of Thanksgiving for specific reasons like the end of a drought, a military victory, or just a general day of prayer.
It wasn't a fixed holiday and varied from place to place.
During the American Revolution, the Continental Congress would occasionally proclaim a national day of Thanksgiving to boost morale and unite the colonies in gratitude for battlefield successes.
These were one-off events meant to mark a specific moment of good fortune for the fledgling nation.
So, how did we get from these sporadic celebrations to an official, annual, national holiday? The first big step came in 1789. After the new U.S. Constitution was ratified, President George Washington issued a proclamation
Declaring the first ever National Thanksgiving Day. He called on Americans to be grateful for their independence, peace, and the new form of government.
But even then, the tradition didn't stick. Subsequent presidents, like Thomas Jefferson, were less keen on the idea, feeling it blurred the line between church and state. For the next several decades, Thanksgiving was celebrated here and there, but it wasn't a unified, nationwide event. The real champion of Thanksgiving as we know it was an incredibly persistent woman named
Sarah Josepha Halley? You might not know her name, but you definitely know her work. She's the author of Mary Had a Little Lamb, a stage editor of a popular women's magazine. Halley had a huge platform,
and she used it to campaign tirelessly for a national Thanksgiving holiday. For over 30 years, she wrote editorials and sent letters to governors, senators, and presidents, arguing that a unified day of thanks would help heal the growing divisions in the country.
Her vision was for a day that would bring families together and unite Americans under a shared tradition.
Finally, she found a president who was listening. In 1863, right in the middle of the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln saw the power in Hale's idea. He believed that a national day of gratitude could help bring a sense of unity and hope to a fractured nation.
Lincoln issued a proclamation declaring the last Thursday in November as a national day of thanksgiving and praise. He called on all Americans,
even those in the states at war with the government, to take a moment for gratitude and to pray for the healing of the nation's wounds.
It is thanks to Sarah Josepha Hale's persistence and Lincoln's vision that Thanksgiving became the annual American institution it is today. But the date wasn't set in stone just yet. For decades, it remained the last Thursday of November.
Then, in the 1930s, during the Great Depression, some retailers raised a concern. Sometimes November had 5 Thursdays, which meant a shorter Christmas shopping season.
So, in 1939, President Franklin D. Roosevelt tried to move the holiday up by a week to the 3rd Thursday of the month,
hoping to boost the economy.
This caused a huge controversy.
Some states adopted the new date. Others stuck with the old one. And for a couple of years, the country celebrated Thanksgiving on 2 different days.
People jokingly called it Franksgiving. To clear up the confusion, Congress stepped in.
In 1941, they passed a law officially fixing Thanksgiving as the 4th Thursday in November, and it's been that way ever since. Today, Thanksgiving
is a cornerstone of American culture.
It's a time for families to travel across the country to be together.
The menu has become standardized. Roast turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, and pumpkin pie are staples on almost every table.
It's also a day of parades, with the most famous being the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York City. And of course, a full day of watching football. For many, it officially kicks off the festive season, leading right into Christmas and the New Year. It has evolved from a simple harvest feast into a complex cultural event, blending history, family, food, and commerce.
And the United States isn't the only country that gives thanks.
Many other nations have similar holidays rooted in harvest celebrations.
Our neighbors to the north, Canada, celebrate their Thanksgiving on the 2nd Monday in October.
Their tradition is also tied to harvest festivals and a story of gratitude from an English explorer,
Martin Frobisher, who gave thanks for surviving his journey in the 16th century. Other countries like Liberia, whose history is intertwined with the U.S., also celebrate Thanksgiving. In Grenada, it marks the anniversary of a U.S.-led intervention in 1983. So, while the American version is the most famous, the spirit of giving thanks for life's blessings is truly a global phenomenon. From ancient European harvest festivals and a shared meal between Pilgrims and the Wampanoag to a powerful symbol of unity during the Civil War and the kickoff to the modern holiday season. The story of Thanksgiving is as rich and layered as the feast itself. It's a holiday that has constantly evolved, yet at its core, it remains a day to pause, gather with loved ones, and appreciate the good things in our lives. Thank you so much for joining me on this historical deep dive.
What are your favorite Thanksgiving traditions?
Let me know.
Down in the comments.
And if you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more stories behind our history and traditions. We'll see you in the next one.